There are primarily three sizes of Calamus heat pluggers. There's a 4003, a 5005, and a 6006. For the most part, in most systems, as I treat them, and as you become familiar with this technique and realize the simplicity of it, rarely do I need to use anything besides a 4003. And the reason for that is, number one, I can see very well through the operating microscope, but also, most of the time, my systems are kept as small as practical. I try to conserve as much dentin as possible, both coronally and radicularly, and certainly apically. So I'm not opening my systems much larger than a 25 on average. So with that in mind, a 4003 Calamus heat plugger works exceptionally well in my hands, nearly every system. There are occasions when I'll go to a larger heat tip, but most of the time it's unnecessary. There's several things. I came from the camp of the Obtura, and the Obtura is a great instrument. It was kind of an evolution instrument in utilizing warm gutta percha. But as we went into using the microscope and actually operating systems underneath the microscope, I found the Obtura to be very large and cumbersome and difficult to get into certain areas of the mouth. And that's one of the big reasons that I like the Calamus. It's much smaller. But relative to these accessories that are here, there's a little heat tip guard. That's the thing right in the center, kind of looks like a little accordion. And then the little blue tip that goes on there. There's a little bending tip, which you'll see later in another video, how we bend the Calamus cartridges. On the right are the cartridges themselves. There's three different sizes of cartridges. I'm primarily using a single size, which will be illustrated at some point during this webinar. And then over in the upper left, again, are those three size heat plugger tips that we've talked about, and then a little cleaning brush for the unit. Very nice, compact, very simple, very easy to use, and I might add, much easier for your assistant to not only keep track of these various components, you and your assistant, but also it's much easier to clean and maintain than some of the other things that are available in the marketplace. We have a lot of different things that we can choose from, but if we can choose something and use something that has less maintenance and less time involved in that maintenance and less downtime, it's much better in a today's busy, fast-paced practice.